Hi, this is Konhar again. Today's topic, why crude oil to stay above 100 US dollars in the long run. In this tutorial, I will explain both its fundamental and technical reasons for crude oil likely to break above and stay above 100 US dollars. And for today's content, there are two parts. And first, I'm going to combine both technical and fundamental reason to give you my proposition, my long-term outlook for crude oil. And later on, I'm going to showcase some of the shorter term trading opportunity, which I believe in the next few days or next few weeks, you're going to see them. So before we get into this topic, so please take some time to read through the disclaimer provided below. So now I have two portfolio at all times. One of it is the long-term investing and the other for short-term trading. Now, for the long-term investing, I am mindful about the current global inflation pressure that is so real, and it may last many months or even years ahead. Therefore, my current investment mandate for the long term is this. For US stock market, I'm not exactly keen to buy and hold them for long term. For US stock market, I'm keen to just trade them. As for the commodity market, my mandate is to buy into them. Now, when I say buy into them, please don't get me wrong that you're going to buy into it anytime right now. It's basically we're looking out for opportunity like this. In the crude oil, on the uptrend, we look for retracement. And later on, I'm going to showcase or share with you the reason why I felt that there's a proposition that the next few days, next few weeks, the market should rebound from here. And let's get into the topic right now. The first one is that the technical, the long-term outlook. And for that, I'm going to share with you the yearly chart. Okay, yes, you hear me correctly. It's the yearly chart. And it means that every candlestick here, we're looking at it as a year, every candlestick. So the crude oil started to trade in the 70s and is listed in the exchange in the 80s, that you could see that over the last 30, 40 years by now. Yeah, 40 years, it has been trading under below 100 US dollars. And this is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to draw a straight line and I'm going to make some adjustment close to about 100. And I'm just going to fine tune here a little bit to 100 since it's such a round up number. Now, I'm gonna ask you to see here is that over the last 4 decades, especially the last 2 decades, that we see that it attempt the whole market, the crude oil attempt to break above 100 US dollars, but none of the year it had closed above 100 US dollars. You could see that it attempt. It closed below, it closed below, it closed at the neckline, it closed below, it closed below. And as the inflationary pressure continues, and I believe it will continues to throughout this year and maybe to next year. And I reckon that at the close of 2022, and this became an important factor for my consideration for long term and short term as well, that at the end of 2022, if it closed above 100 US dollars, and it is making history, and that will be for the first time in history of crude oil, it's going to close above 100 US dollars. So technically, I believe that the market will continue to trend up. With this as a support, as a key support, we saw a very nice hammer. And just imagine that if it closed above 100 US dollars here, the next bar, the next flip will be 2023. And I think the uptrend will continue. So I think, but we don't have to wait till 2022 to close to start getting ready. Now, I'm going to share with you how this thing works. But before that, let me make some adjustment and go back to the weekly chart again. And we're going to talk about the fundamental reason, which I just explained to you, the technical reason. And I'm going to share with you the long-term outlook for crude oil, the fundamental reason. Now, I use crude oil as a benchmark for most of the commodities. Yeah. So let me just call the CPI number, which is so important here. And I'm going to expand a little bit here. Now, this is such an important inflationary data. And I would say that for the good of the last 30 years, yes, CPI have stayed under the upper average line of about 2.5%. About that means that over the last 30 years, CPI inflation pressure has been quite tame at below about 2.5. for the last 30 years. And then something happened in April 2021. It started to break above this 30 years average line, about 2.5%, and it started to trend up. 4, you could see they start to trend up. And this orange zone is that it start to break above the CPI of the last 30 years high. And the dark orange zone that you're seeing here is that it start to break above the last 40 years. And it has been staying firm and staying above the last 40 years high for the time being. Now, I reckon that the inflation pressure that the global is facing right now is beyond just supply chain. There's other underlying issue as well. But I think I'll leave this topic to another day. So what I'm trying to showcase here is that technically we're saying that there's a possibility that crude oil will continue to trend up. But fundamentally, I think the inflation pressure is real. I think most of the commodity prices will continue to trend up. So this is something that we have to recognize. And that kind of conclude that my long-term outlook for the commodity should be still trending up. So therefore, if you still remember that what's my investment strategy is to just buy them on retracement. Now let's look at the short-term trading opportunity right now. Now this is what we could see here. As it move up, there's a retracement. And what I'm going to do here is that during the past many videos that I produced, we have discussed about how to draw trend line. And for those that are listening in for the first time, the trend line that I have, there are two rules. The first rule for uptrend line is that you try to find 3 significant trough. Okay, now this is what I'm going to do here. First, you start off with just that. Yeah. So I'm happy with this. Then after that, you may try to extend it. And now the second rule about drawing an uptrend line is that you try to find the best fit. And maybe I try to fit it at the neckline here. And then I'm just going to do this. Now, I think it looks perfect to me. So basically the at least three significant trough. I'm seeing 1 of it, 2, 3, and maybe 4. So at least there's 4. And that's what I'm seeing here. And the next thing I'm going to do is that I believe that basically for technical analysis is that we just have to experiment with this. And I'm very satisfied about this uptrend line, and it is so classic. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is that what I'm seeing here is that I'm seeing that the crude oil seems like over the past years, it has been traveling in this uptrend channel. And what I'm going to do here is to clone this and shift this up to look at the uptrend channel. And for the uptrend channel, what you need to do is to find significant peaks. Now, I found one, and you could see that it rested very, very nicely here, and that's the high. And I would say that based on this channel line, the uptrend channel line where I just drawn, you can do that in other contracts as well, in other commodities or even stock market. Just give it a try. And I just share with you the rules, how to plot a uptrend line, and it can parallel this. And this became a channel that I will likely to follow in years to come, especially next year or end of this year. If we break above 100 US dollars, I will know exactly what to do for the crude oil. My focus will be just buy on dips and trade along this channel line. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to squeeze in a little bit here so that you're able to appreciate the whole spectrum of what I just shared, and especially useful is this consumer price index. Take some time to study into it. Continue to explore this topic with these related videos and register for these webinars as well. Follow my Facebook page for my daily market insights. To be updated with my latest video, subscribe to my channel and remember to turn on the notification bell. See you again very, very, very soon.